what's up you guys, it's Steph, and yeah, we are here to wrap up Munch. What am I saying again? Hey, what's up you guys, it's Steph, and we are here to wrap up March with the 3 books that I read. One was a reread, I'm so glad you came, and then 2 were newish books, one that I got in last month's Literary Crate, and then one I got in January from a thrift store, so let's talk about that. This is the wrong video for that. Good mythical morning aside, let's talk about the first book I read, I'll Be Gone in the Dark by Michelle McNamara, actually a reread. And the reason I reread it is because, you might notice, this is not my hardback copy, this is a paperback copy, which I am very excited came out the end of last month, beginning of last month, we're doing the wrap-ups, beginning of last month. I actually got it like right after it came out, so it shipped in right after. And I was very hyped for this edition because it has new stuff in it, because the Golden State Killer, before the release of the hardback, was not known, was not caught. After the release of the hardback, a few months later, he was caught, he has been arrested, and it was insane to watch unravel, and holy cow. What's really cool is that this book is soon to be like a documentary series on HBO, and they were filming like before and during the time that he got caught. So they're filming up to this point, and then if you watch late night interviews with Patton Oswalt, especially on Seth Meyers, I'll leave a link up above and down below because I find it like really fun to learn about, because Michelle McNamara was Patton Oswalt's late wife, and just talking about how they were filming for this HBO documentary series, and then like finding out like 4 in the morning that this guy, like they had a lead on the guy, and then the guy had been caught, and like I remember like watching like the press conferences on my phone myself, and it's just like, holy balls, this thing like I was about to read about, because at that point I didn't have my own copy, but I had it on library loan, and the library loan just took forever because that specific thing happening on that day. Holy balls. But this is a fantastic read. Michelle McNamara, she had a way of writing that just captivated you. It made you want to keep reading. True crime, sometimes these authors get so lost in the facts and the details that they don't make it necessarily entertaining to keep reading. Michelle McNamara has a way of writing that keeps you in, it keeps you focused on what she's saying, and it's absolutely beautiful. I'm devastated that she never got the chance to finish this book and see the book become this beautiful little thing, and she never got to see the Golden State Killer apprehended, but this is just an incredible work by her, and I highly recommend it if you are a fan of true crime, if you just want to know about more California serial killers and things like that. I know it's dark subjects, but this book is just fantastically written, and I highly recommend it. Whenever I see someone contemplating this book, I highly recommend it because it is a fantastic read if you're into this kind of thing. The next book I read, I kind of read it on a whim. I ended up reading it in one sitting after unboxing it. It is Superman's Dawnbreaker from the DC Icon series. And honestly, reading this really makes me want to read the Batman one, and I already wanted to kind of read the Catwoman one, but this kind of pushed me to read more of these because this was honestly really fun. Superman in young adult. It was a really interesting perspective and take on him because, I'll be honest with you, I'm not a super big Superman fan. Sometimes I feel like he's really OP, and it's just kind of boring to have all the superpowers. But this take on Superman that Matt De La Pena put on him, like, it was fantastic, and I absolutely loved it. You have 17-year-old Clark Kent still in Smallville. It's just, it's such a good freaking story. And it's not just about him, it's about race relations. There's things that are happening in our current United States. Like, I don't know if it's still a thing, but remember how in Arizona they were doing that, like, stop and search law where they didn't need a warrant to pull a car over? Only if, like, they thought it was suspicious or whatever, they could pull a car over and potentially arrest whoever was driving or was in the car. That was, like, a real thing, and, like, they tackle that in this book, about it being a law that was coming up to be voted on, different protests for and against it. Like this little town, you don't think, you know what, there's not too many races here. You kind of have them popping up like, oh, yikes, my good friend. Not really good friend, but this person I know is blatantly racist. That's fun. It was just really good, and it was nice to read something that was a bit political in this time that is so politically driven, you know? Usually you'd be looking for an escape for these things, but I really enjoyed that aspect of the story. It was one of my favorite aspects, actually, how political and politically driven it kind of felt. And I just really, really enjoyed that. I thought it was really good. I I highly recommend this book because it is very interesting and just a really cool take on Superman and it, like, coming of age and coming into his powers. It's just super rad, and I really recommend it. It was really good. I was really surprised. Someone not being like a super big Superman fan, I was surprised, and I rated this 5 stars. It was fan-frickin-tastic. And then finally last month we had the book that made me feel oh so powerful after finishing it, because it's 503 pages. The Hypnotist by Lars Kepler, which is actually a pen name for this couple that lives in Sweden? Sweden, I got it correct. So The Hypnotist is a kind of thriller novel. It follows a hypnotist and his family, as well as this cop. I can't think of the names. This is all takes place in Sweden. It's translated from Swedish, so I'm not gonna be good at saying the names of these characters, so I'm not even gonna really try, okay? Because, my goodness, these names, sometimes I would like get them confused because some were slightly similar. But, oh, it was still a fairly good book. It kind of lost me towards the end because we had our main plot of there's this boy. He witnesses his family's murder. He is kind of out of it and it's like super like internally damaged because he's been beaten and stabbed and all this stuff. So they bring in the hypnotist to like, okay, we need to get information out of him. We just need to ask him if he's seen the killer's face. We need to like ask him what he saw. He's been traumatized. And then things escalate from there, and there's a whole side plot that I don't know. I feel like it started off really strong. It started really good. Then we get to about halfway, and it just kind of starts to drag. And we lose sight of one of the main plot lines. We get sucked in this other plot line, and then we kind of loosely tie up this other plot line. It's not tied up super well. It's just kind of, whoop, we're done with that one. Now we're mainly focusing on this one. You know what I mean? And I enjoy the story, but I wish that had been tied up nicer. I wish they would have done more with it because I feel like they could have. But it is what it is. It was still a fairly good book. I gave it 4 stars. I liked it. It was a nice read. It was nice. I haven't read a thriller in a while, not since, what was it called? Ragdoll by Daniel Cole, and I still need to get the second one to that one because I'm really here for it and I'm really excited for it. And there you guys go. Those are the 3 books that I read in March. This is my wrap-up for March. Yeah. If you've read any of these books, please let me know down in the comments below because I'd love to hear your opinions on them. If you haven't read I'll Be Gone in the Dark by Michelle McNamara, highly recommend it. If you haven't read Superman's I keep wanting to call it Stormbreaker, but that's the name of the other one, isn't it? No, it's not even one of them. I don't know why I keep wanting to say Stormbreaker. It's Dawnbreaker. I recommend it. It's very good. It was really interesting to read as someone who's not a big fan of Superman. It made me more of a fan of Superman, to be honest. His like upper givings in this book, I really like that. If you like thrillers, I might recommend The Hypnotist. It was okay. Ended up giving it like 4 stars, but like I said, that whole like loose tie-up thing, it just kind of lost me, so that's why I didn't give it higher. Meh. I actually did do a 24-hour readathon where I talked more about my thoughts with this one, as well as another book I was trying to finish but did not get done. So you can check that out on screen right. Love when the camera cuts me off before I'm done, don't you? But yeah, 24-hour readathon, talk about this book and another book I didn't get to finish right up here for you. Another video for my channel that you may or may not have seen right here for you. If you want to subscribe, my face will be right here, as well as the button down below. Hit the bell icon to be notified when I post new videos on Mondays and Fridays usually, except when I'm having a mental breakdown because those days are fun and nothing gets done. Way. I hope you guys have a lovely day / night, and I'll see you later. Bye.